Today's proceedings. We are on day 4 and the last day of this edition of Dhaka Media Summit, jointly organized by Media Studies and Journalism Department, University of Liberal Arts Bangladesh, and International Association for Media and Communication Research. At this point of the day's proceedings, we have 2 more parallel sessions. One session titled New and Old Image Building Platforms. The session chair is Dr. Misbah Zulfa Elizabeth from Walisongo State Islamic University, Indonesia. In this panel, we have as presenters Manee, Srisamut from Sukhothai, Thammathirat Open University, Thailand, Shahriar Rahman from the Daily Star, one of the leading newspapers in Bangladesh, Samia Akter Mita from Khulna University, Rahman from Gift University, Pakistan. We have Vikas C.H. Pomik from University of Liberal Arts Bangladesh. In the other panel, titled The State of Journalistic Freedom, we have Dr. Ruchita Sujal Choudhury as session chair from Khaja Moinuddin Chishti Language University, India. In this panel, we have as presenters Mridha Mohammad Shibli Noman, Jahangirnagar University, Bangladesh, Akibul Wadud Alam, Port City International University, Chattogram, Bangladesh, Dr. Varghese P.A., Kovempu University, India, Muhammad Musharraf Hossain, Stanford University, Bangladesh, Mohammad Riazuddin Khan, University of Liberal Arts, Bangladesh. As we have 2 sessions parallelly, we need to use the breakout room like we did in the previous 2 sessions. I would like to request the session chair, Dr. Misbah Zulfa Elizabeth, and the presenters in the panel, New and Old Image Building Platforms, to remain in the main session. And I would like to request Dr. Ruchita Sujal Choudhury and the presenters in the panel, The State of Journalistic Freedom, to move on to the breakout session. The breakout session has the same name of the session, so it's easy to find. I hope you all can move there by yourself, but if you need any assistance, please don't hesitate to tell us. In the main room, Dr. Misbah Zulfa Elizabeth, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon.
Walaikum salam. Good afternoon, Mr. Barbak. Nice to see you here.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
Yeah.
So I would like to request you to take over the session and start proceedings, the presentations. And we are running a little behind time, so
okay. It seems you're mute your
yeah.
sound, Dr. Barbak.
My sound is not clear. Is it audible now? Is it clear?
Okay, it's right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Zulfa, we are a little behind time, so we have another session to start from 4:30 Bangladesh time. That is.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry. Not 4:30, 2:30 Bangladesh time, and that is 3:30 Indonesian time.
So 3:30 on Indonesian time, right?
Yeah. So it would be very nice of you. I think in this panel that is possible because number of presenters are not so many.
Yeah.
So kindly keep that in mind and conduct the session accordingly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Barbak, for your time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon to all of Dr. Barbak, of course, and all the presenter. We have 5 presenters here in this panel. So, and as Mr. Barbak told us that we lack of the time because we delay more than 10 minutes, and we must finish at 3:30 on Indonesian time, and 1 hour before for Dhaka time. We have 5 presenters, and they will talk so many facets of media, and our panel itself having the title of New and Old Image Building Platform. Yeah, this topic implied that in social media, and I think not only in social media, but in media, the platform for building image for any of person or a leader, for example, is gone very trending, I think. So it is implied that there is a trend to go on to the image building trending, and also there is a difference between the beforehand style of media on the publishing media into the internet-based media, and also it implies a change and specific style of the media. And here, as Manee Srisamut will talk about social media strategy, and then the next presenter, Shahriar Rahman, will talk about Bigaporn for understanding of the offer digital sponsored content. He is a journalist, right? So we have not only academician but also practitioner into our panel. And Samia Mita will talk about social media as a platform of online business. This is based on the business trend. And also we have the fourth presenter. He will talk about impact of short video mobile application on the lifestyle of university students. I think it is very interesting too. And the last, he is Vikas Bovik. He will discuss about desiring audience. So we don't want to lose our time to discuss the introduction of this panel. So we will go on to the first presenter. He is Manee Srisamut. Hello. Where are you, Manee? Are you there? Hello. Yeah. And we will have for one presenter 10 minutes maximally to present their presentation, and then we will go on to the dialogue session. So the first, please, Manee Srisamut, time is yours. Hello, Manee. Are you there? Once Manee is still absent, so please for the next presenter. So please, Shahriar Rahman, are you there? Hello. Hello, Shahriar. Okay, we'll go to the next presenter if still absent. So please, Samia, I'm sure you are there. Samia, please, time is yours. Thank you, Samia. Yeah.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, 10 minutes for you, Samia.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Samia Mita, MSc student of Mass Communication and Journalism discipline in Khulna University. And my research co-author is Mamunor Rashid, a Assistant Professor of Mass Communication and Journalism discipline in Khulna University. And my today's research topic is social media as a platform of online business study on Khulna University. Now I start my research topic. First, introduction. In introduction, I segmented 3 parts: that a statement of the problem, background of the study, significance of the research. In a statement of the problem of my study is to investigate how social media can become a platform for online business. And the second is seller actual expectation and performance of social media and the future of social media in online business. My background of the study is the online business sector has been dramatic growth since the early 20th century, when Bangladesh lacked widespread internet access or a reliable online transaction system. In 19th century, by Bangladesh Bank propelled the growth of e-commerce in Bangladesh. The online business sector started in many areas of Bangladesh day by day. Khulna City is one of them. The growth of online business in Khulna City in 2016. The significance of my research is that this research will helpful both seller and customer about online business and social media. People are creating new connection online through social media to identify the benefit of online business than the traditional business. And the most important thing is to identify the satisfaction level between online shopping and traditional shopping. Now, here is my objective of the research. I parted two-sided objectives like general objective and a specific objective. In general objective, my objective is to examine whatever that exists any role of gender in attitude building, perception creation, saving decision making based on social media. To find out the expectation of seller and consumer about social media and its performance. My specific objective of this research is to identify how social media impacts seller and consumer for decision making and the type of different online business and why seller are choose online business. To explore who are the actual consumer of online business and the future of online business in social media. To suggest a strategy to fulfill the gap between seller expectation and the performance of social media. I have some research methodology. I use some methods in my research, that is quantitative research method, a series of interviews for personal observation. Source of data, I use survey questionnaire and answered by all online sellers of the Khulna City. And my sampling was purposive random sampling. Here I am used 50 samples. Theoretical framework I use to frame my research uses and prediction theory and media dependency theory. Both are relatable to my research. Literature review. Many researchers give their points about online business and social media, but I can't find any research about online business of Khulna University. So I think I add a new knowledge about that. The literature review which I selected that was relevant, reliable, and representative with my research. Here is some literature review I mentioned in the slide. Now the part is result and discussion. My objective, according to my objective, I try to find some result and discuss here. There is a situation that all people think that female are the only respondents of online business, but in my study, I found a different thing that most of the people, male person is then attentive than the female person, and both women and men equally are the buyers of online business, and medium for getting update online business and maintaining product. Most of the sellers choose the social media for their update of online business and maintaining their product demand. Seller satisfaction of using social media, and they 96%, around 96% among 86% people believe that their satisfaction level of online business fully dependent on social media. The reason why online business affected most seller of online business choose the medium because they easily choose customer, and for customer buy the product easily. In my survey, I asked them some question. By the process, the seller sell product in the last week. Most of the around 98% sellers tell that they sell their product using social media. Increasing of sales for social media, you can see most of the selling are increasing by social media, and the development level between social media seller and buyer they help to increase much. And the key findings of my result is 52% are male respondents and rest of them are female. 94% depend on social media for online business, and 96% online seller satisfaction depend on social media. 76% seller agree with the social media most helpful to increase sales. 88% seller agree that social media fosters selling and customer relationship and fast than other media. Firstly, I told that took personal observation, and for personal observation, I took two entrepreneur interviews, that Nadia's Food Corner and Linty's Minima, for my seller perception, for get seller perception. And conclusion of the study is limitation of the study. I include that time COVID situation, small sampling was my limitation of the story. For referencing, I use APS style 7th edition. And lastly, some recommendation for my study is, at first, social media platforms should offer immense possibility for fostering relationship with consumer in an online environment. Online sellers should invest to improve advertisement quality, because low quality based advertisement can harmful sometimes. Social media should work on maintaining privacy on consumer information. Online sellers should provide a sales gender-based product. They should research on online consumer, and then they should provide product according to their need. Online business should approach through customer engagement, which makes the online sector much reliable, because fake sellers are rising so much day by day. Selling should follow long-term marketing strategy that help to make business successful, and customer also start to faith on me. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Okay, thank you very much, Mita, for your presentation. I let you present your idea because we have enough time. Because two presenters are absent, so we have three presenter here, and you have enough time to present your idea. I let you present by your own. Okay, we will go on to the next presenter. He is Hamza. Yeah, Hamza. Are you there, Hamza? And Hamza from GIF University, Gujranwala. Are you there, Hamza? Hello? Hello, Hamza? meanwhile waiting for Hamza, so the other presenter, maybe Bomix Bikash, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, because it's
Good
better
afternoon. How are
to
you?
take the time to the next turn, meanwhile waiting for Hamza. And because we'll present his topic, desiring audience, I will go to the cinema if I don't know what is the
What is
requirement.
if?
Yeah, please, because please let us know what is the if there. Yeah. Okay. Time is your. I think I don't want to remind you about the time because we still enough time to make you explore your idea about your title. Time is yours, Vikas.
Yeah. So is my slide moving?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Is moving?
Yes.
It's very slow moving. Yeah.
Oh, it's in the internet.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's good.
Okay, it's moving. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Elizabeth, for giving me floor to present my ideas or research, which has already been completed. So I am assistant professor, University of Liberal Arts, Bangladesh, and this research is funded by the ULAB Office of Faculty Research, meaning is ULAB. Okay. So you have seen the title of my research is Desiring Audience. I will go to cinema if. Okay. So my presentation is outlined as introduction, literature, cinema being cinema going, methods, audience responses, and conclusion, I'll go to cinema if. Introduction, it is claimed, sorry, I have to because there are, go to normal slide, this position, otherwise I cannot see the last lines. Okay, so introduction, it is claimed by the movie professionals in Bangladesh, especially by the directors and the producers, that Bangladeshi audiences stop going to cinema. But this picture is telling us a different story. People in this picture, you can see, are rushing towards the super mall to not confirm their reservation for the latest iPhone, but for confirming their tickets for the new Avengers movie Endgame. Is my slide moving? Is my slide moving?
Yeah.
It's okay. Because
Okay. They argue that, meaning the movie directors and professionals, that the audiences stop going to cinema because they can watch foreign film, particularly Indian film and television programs at home using multi-platform viewing facilities. Therefore, there is no need for going to the cinema.
yeah.
But the above picture point to the different notions. Referring to this scenario, Jahan, a journalist from Prothom Alo, states that the Bangladeshi audience in reality want to watch cinema at the theaters, but the unavailability of quality films demotivates them to go to the theaters. Considering this, the study investigated what motivates or demotivates a Bangladeshi film audience to watch or to not watch a film irrespective of origin of production, which eventually reflected on theater going. Literature, cinema going, cinema viewing, cinema going. The study stands on two counter notions in regard to cinema going. First notion, due to the emergence of multi-platform digital home viewing facilities, scholars believing in technological determinism assert that cinema going will be replaced by those non-theatrical individualized distribution platform. But counter notion is that alternative viewing platform can never be the substitutes of movie theater and or multiplexes. Believers of this thought think cinema going is more than the act of film watching. Covert assert that as long as people want to or need to be around the other people or simply to go out get out of the house, people will continue to go to movie theaters, because going to the movies was or is a symbolic social act. But they need to have a guarantee of audience's investment, that their investment will not go in vain. Method the researcher employ in these studies are inductive, exploratory, and descriptive research approaches, and hence employs survey questionnaires as a method of data collection. And a total of 100 regular movie viewers have participated in the survey. The survey respondents were selected following some criteria. I didn't actually mention here the criteria. Audience responses and discussion. Many scholars, considering the infusion of post-television technologies, predict that the movie going will be dead. But fortunately or unfortunately, all prediction went wrong. The cinema is not dead. Cinema going has not been gone away. Covert asserts that competing technologies did not do harm to the cinema or the cinema going, rather revivified interest in movie going in America. The same trend has been seen in India. Dasgupta, Sinha, and Chakraborty state, despite the readily affordable DVDs, VCDs, and other platforms, recent IMAX multi-movie theaters brought viewers back, and single screens hall to stepped up their infrastructure, leading to the revival of Indian cinema and the emergence of the imaginary space. What movie-going statistics subsist in America, India, or other countries, the completely opposite scenario prevails in Bangladesh. People here hardly visit theaters now to watch local cinema. Not that they don't watch cinema, they watch cinema, but they watch what they want to watch, not what the film industry offered them to watch. Multi-platform home viewing facilities have brought this scope to them. They can now choose the better option from many due to the technology available around them. This study therefore tries to uncover what motivates and demotivates them to watch or to not watch or continuing watching the film that reflected ultimately on the theater goings. The response of the respondents has been organized under the following sections: respondents' first film watching experiences, respondents' viewing habit from Dallywood to Hollywood, respondents' most favored and discovered film, and cinema at the theater. Justifiably, the film viewing habits of most of the questionnaire respondents of this study begin with local film. When they were asked what makes their first film watching experience good or excellent, they responded that the following factors responsible for their first viewing experiences. Story and the craft of storytelling perform the highest, which is 81%. Performance and the dialogue, 74%. Cinematography, 29%. Song and dance sequence, 28%. But when they were asked to count the number of local of foreign film and of foreign film from their viewing list, it was found that among the respondents, most are now the heavy viewer of foreign films. And very rarely they now watch their own industry film. Respondents were then asked what motivates them to watch foreign film more than the local film. Again, story that can hold audiences hours, 73% out of 75 respondents. Film are brilliantly made, 68%. Presence of star actor and actresses in the film, 60% contribute. Realistic performance contribute a lot. Provide a clear message by the film, contribute 44%. Respondents mentioned. Panoramic visual, 60%. Respondents were justifiably also asked what demotivates them to not watch local film. There are many points they highlighted. The respondents highlighted. These are: weak story that can hold audiences for hours. Story does not progress relying on the logic. Lack of novelty in the story in the craft of storytelling. These actually remind us Kavi Guru Rabindranath Tagore, that means the poet of the universe, Rabindranath Thakur's one statement, Manush Golpo Poshojib, meaning that Bengalis Golpo Poshojib, the heart, soul, and mind and soul of the Bengalis can be conquered by the stories, through the stories. Okay. When the respondents were asked, what makes a film your most favored and disfavored film? They answered that the factors that makes a film their most favored and most favored are, again, story and the craft of storytelling is one of the most important factor for the respondents to watch a certain film. So which motivates them to go to the theater? Okay, which is 1%. Performance, especially the lead character's performance, 61%. Story progress in such a way that one cannot move eyes of the film digests, which is 45%, and other factors involved here for their most favored film. And the factors that makes their most disfavored film are weak story and poor storytelling, which is 88%. Logic used in the film were unacceptable, 23%. Poor performance and dialogue, 39%. And there are other factors stated here. When the respondents were asked about their reluctance of going to theater, they mentioned that the following factors are responsible. The most important thing, the lack of free time. This is mentioned by the people, 71%. Theater here mostly shows Bangladeshi cinema or absence of foreign film, 22.5%, and other factors involved here for not going to the theater. Though the respondents identified lack of free time as top barrier of movie going, but when they were asked if movie theaters in Bangladesh shows like your favorite films regularly, will you then go to theater? They answered. 60% says that yes, they will go to theater if the film that are their favorite film. If this kind of film will be shown in the show in the theater, then they will go to the theater. 4% says no. 12% says may go to the theater or may not, and 24% says will watch at home if having access to the film from home. So these are the people, 25% we have to think of them. So they don't want to go to the theater if they have access. Now conclusion, what can we conclude now? The findings suggest that the cinema viewership here relies on what the viewers want from the cinema and what cinema can offer to them. Cinema goers prefers watching cinema at the cinema hall or multiplexes, but there should be a guarantee of their investment that will not go in vain. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bikash. Nice presentation and nice topic in this presentation. And I will call the other presenters, whether they are present in this panel or not. Hamza Rahman, are you there? Okay, Dr. Barbak, it seems 3 presenters are absent from this panel. So yes, we have 2 presentation in this panel. It is come from Mita, and then the next from Bikash. Yeah, Mita talk about very interesting topic too. How a platform in media become the basic of business for nowadays, and Bikash talk about movie, yeah, like in Indonesia, because movie also challenging, I think, because of the trend of individualistic lifestyle. So we have in our house home theater, for example, that have so many instruments, and it is like in a cinema. So we need not to go to cinema to see the the movie that was offered by the publisher or the movie maker, but we can buy some movie over there, and it is so easy to do. And I think this trend goes through around the world, I think, because of the development of internet technology. And also, Mita, I will say too, in the term of COVID-19 pandemic, I also did a research about the because one of the research on who use the internet more, it is women, use internet more in Indonesia, and they use that also for business. And one of the topic that I studied on is women business in the pandemic era, because based on the WhatsApp, they can sell and offer their product, and it is a homemade product too. So it is very important and fruitful for the family of the woman itself. That's all some point that related to the topic that we discussed about this afternoon, and I think some of other audience would like to ask something.
One thing I want to mention here about your home viewing facilities. This the question is how long people will be in the home, because people are a social being, so they move out to the home. And if you look at the after when the COVID situation has been developing, that means the rate of infection is was going down. When movies has been released in the theater, people rush to. If you look at the Indian some of the film, people rush to the cinema theater.
Oh, yeah.
People rush to the cinema theater, but you have to give that certain thing. What is the thing? In the last seminar, in the last day, one professor from Thailand Open Universities, she in answer to my question says that content is the king in everywhere. Okay, so you need to have that content. If you don't have the content, people don't have time that to watch the thing of the makers. That's it. So that is the thing that you have to emphasize on the content, that what you are making, whether it can it is it has the quality enough to actually fulfill the expectation of the audience, because audience actually, when audience will watch the film, for example, audience has certain expectation, audience has set certain expectation before watching the film, before watching a content. So if a certain expectation does not fulfill, they will not continue watching that kind of content.
Yes, I think there is a contestation between the producer of the movie, who will fulfill the need of the audience, and also the individual trend of lifestyle. So which one will win in the contestation? I think it will become the winner. So once the producer can coach what you say in your survey, that factually people would like to see movie based on the content, and they like much on the storytelling, for example.
Yes, that is what content is not. And I just content like the king in a terms, in a way I say that the how content are arranged. Storytelling. If you look at the result of my research, that audience mostly looked at the how the story has been told, whether the story that has been told can engage them within the content. That is important.
So we can underline or conclude maybe that our society are based on the human interest point here. So they enjoy the story about human life. So that is why they underline much on the storytelling, but not for the technical development. For example, for the for the movie itself. It is interesting, I think, for your next study.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. For the all of the audience, please. This is time. Your time to ask the question to the two presenter present in this panel, and they are very interesting presenter with their own interesting topic too. Okay, I can get one.
Zarif,
Yeah. Okay. I think this is for. Okay, I will present on my topic. I will be presenting on behalf. Okay, yeah. Please, Shahriar Rahman, on someone on behalf of Rahman, you will present your presentation. Okay, please. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that Shahriar Rahman is sick. Yeah, okay, hope he will getting better. So please on the one Zarif Khan. Okay, please, time is yours. We will start our dialogue after your presentation. Okay, please, Zarif Khan. Time is yours. Yeah, I don't want to limit your time for presentation. It is as long as you can, like two presenter before. Okay, please.
Are you hearing me, listening? Okay. Good afternoon. I am excited to take part in Dhaka Media Summit 2022 on the future of journalism. I will briefly and concisely demonstrate our work on Bigyapan Barta, which is the name of the digital sponsored content published by Prothom Alo. Prothom Alo is a leading newspaper in Bangladesh.
can you present your slide?
Yeah, yes, of course.
Okay, you may present your PPT if you have.
Can you see?
Yes, yes, I got it.
Thank you.
Yes.
So we have studied on the contents of the digital sponsored content published by Prothom Alo in 2021, and we found out some patterns and how the digital sponsored content are presented, how many words in what times, what are the forms and modes of those writings, how the readers view them, and what is the pattern, what is the pattern on types of industry and everything. So we also talked with the people responsible for these sponsored contents. Some people, we asked their opinions, and we also talked with some readers privately and spoke about their opinions on those things. So at the first of my finding,
I think sound is not clear.
Okay. Are you listening now?
It seems there is a small echo.
Okay.
In your voice, yeah.
Me.
Okay, try, Zarif.
Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. The product name in the headline. So at first we studied all. We collected all the data from all the sponsored contents from January 2021 to February 2022. all the sponsored contents, we collected the data. So at first we studied if the product name is in the headline or not. So we found that in 30.5% there is no product name in the headline, but most of the headline has the product name. It's almost 70%. Then we studied what is the mode of the writing. So the contents, the business sponsored contents. So what are their modes or forms? So most of them are explanatory forms. So the industry which are sponsoring those contents, they explain their industry or product, and they tell a story, or it can be a narrative story or research, or they can report something, or they can arrange a program. So most of those writings are explanatory types, and some of those are creative types, but not much. Then we went into details of the form of the writings, and we found that explanatory essay. So we it's explanatory essay, 18%. Essay, we called 400 words. Excuse me.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so we named the contents over 400 words and an essay if they are explanatory. So found that there are many contents over 400 words. Then we found we studied that if the words are repeated or not. So we found that most of the articles are one word repetitive. So the contents are focused with the one words, meaning keywords. It may be the product or the brand name. So most of the contents are one word repetitive, it's 43%, and unique is not one word repetitive, it's kind of unique, so it's 41%, and two or more words repetitive are 15%. Then we studied the time analysis. We analyzed the time. So at which time of the day they publish the contents. So we found out that most of the contents are between 12 and 18 p.m. 18. So it's most of the contents are published within this time, and then we focused on what type of industries are publishing or sponsoring those contents, and we found that the biggest industry on these contents are education industry, the universities or school and colleges. Secondly, real estate industries are the second biggest sponsors of these contents. Next, we counted the pictures and found out that 0 to 2 pictures are the most common. So in those contents, people used less pictures. It's 2 pictures at most. Then we focused on word count. So how many words normally and we found out that mostly they wrote under 1,000 words. So there is normally, and there is one that exceeded 2,500, of course. And then we focused on what is their focus product. Is they're focusing on single product or multiple product? So we found that 16.6% of times they focused on multiple products, and we found that 83% times they focused on single products. So that is our study, and we also we were unable to prepare a good slide because of the sickness of our main presenter, but I have prepared it, so thank you everyone.
Okay, thank you, Zarif. Also, you are the next author, but you present your idea well. Okay, thank you very much. And for the last call for the other presenter, Hamza Rahman, are you present now? I'm worried that he is late. Hello? Okay. And then for the first presenter that I once called, yeah, Manee, Srisamut, are you there? Okay. Okay, Mr. Dr. Barbak, there are two presenters who are absent in this panel. So please, we will go to the next session. It is a question. So please, for all the audience, once you have some question related to the three topics that we are discussing this afternoon, so please, this is your time. Or if you are hesitant to directly ask the question, please, you may write down in your chat room. Okay, we will look forward to your question. Yeah, factually, the three presentation with three ideas are very interesting topic for this year. For not only for this year, I think for this decade, because of the progression and development of media. So there are so many progression in all of the social process, not only in the media itself, but also in the entertainment world, as because discuss about as Mita 2 discussed this afternoon, it is related to the business. And so, as Zarif talked about, he found that there is a specific phenomenon that he and his group found in his survey. It is related to the trend of the media which now based on the internet networking, yeah, not based on the paper anymore. And there is a trend too in the internet media that individualistic media also came out. So we have not only formal media now, but we have so many individual media. That is the trend. So I think in the chat room we will get one question. This is for Mita. Please, Mita. Yeah. So what is the final conclusion of Samia Mita study? Yeah. Okay. This is one question who asks for Mita conclusion. So please, Mita, this is important question in this session. So please, time is yours. Mita, please.
Thank you. I already mentioned my conclusion in my slide. I had to add my objective, according to objective, I try to find my result through some survey, and the conclusion of the study is that there is no gender bias in my study. All people like sailors and consumer are depend on the social media hugely for their decision, any kind of selling decision. That's all for me from me. Thank you.
Okay, okay. For okay, let me check. Yeah,
Can I
and this
comment?
is the question from Zarif here. Yeah, there is Zarif. The Mita conclusion from her study. Are you still have any other question to Mita?
No, ma'am, thank you. I understood now.
Okay, it is clear,
Okay.
right?
Professor Elizabeth,
Yeah.
I have comments
Okay.
on Mita's reading. Okay.
Yeah.
So that she can actually work on this more. Especially when you talk about the title of the top presentation, and social media as a platform of online business. That's it. No,
Yeah.
Mita, I have one thing to know from Mita. On what perspective? You look at the I think as I have heard your presentation, you look at the presentation. That means from the user's angle,
Yeah.
from the user's perspective.
Okay.
But when you title lead me to the users. That means the social media that people use, that audience perspective. Okay. But when I read your title, it automatically lead me to the business. That means the people who do do business on using the platform. So I think you should concentrate, look at this matter. Otherwise, it misled. I think Professor Elizabeth can give insight on that as well.
Yes.
And also another thing is there are so many objectives you have mentioned in your topic. Yeah, you narrow down it. Okay, so you cannot answer all the, you cannot in one research you cannot have many objectives. It will be that means chaos of the research paper.
Yeah.
So I think Professor Elizabeth will shed some light on that.
Thank you for your suggestion.
Yes. Okay, Mita. Because question is very important. I think for making one article, we need the focus of the topic. And your title is actually a very good title, social media as a platform for online business. Only as because talk about the topic is that it is a very wide topic. So you may focus on the perspective, for example, gender perspective or economic perspective or traditional perspective. So
users perspective can be taken.
Yeah, that's right. And you will make so many articles based on this topic, right? Because and I'm ready to become the second author if you want to make it make it completed article. Yeah, I think this is the suggestion, important suggestion. As the academician, I think a suggestion is very important for our progression in writing. And so it will be very important, more important, because if we have the comparison study between in Indonesia and in Bangladesh, wow, that's a very great topic, I think. That's all, Mita. And I just see too that you have so many purpose of your study, yeah, attitude building, perception creation for seller. That's right, because this is a very wide. So Mita, this is a good suggestion, and you may make some article based on your data, and you will make a deeper study on each of your article. I think that, yeah. Okay, any other question?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Zarif, any other question? No more question for Zarif. Zarif hasn't got the question. So we are in exclusive panel now. Yeah. Yeah. Mita, do you have the question for Zarif?
No, I because of the presentation, that means he just presented in absence of others. So actually, I didn't recognize the whole process how he did. Because of I don't want to make any comments.
Yes, I think this is a very local phenomenon.
Yeah.
But I think it is not only happen or experienced by local people, but because this is also digital sponsored content, yeah, and I think I'm imagining that Prothom Alo is a media, yeah.
Prothom Alo is actually renowned newspaper, topmost renowned newspaper in Bangladesh. In terms of circulation, in terms of credibility, this is actually one of the
how many exemplars
okay.
before the prices published? So why?
Zarif, are you working on the Prothom Alo?
Yeah. Zarif,
No, I am not working the Prothom Alo, but my colleague, my team member Shahriar Rahman is working on Daily Star, and we participated and talked with people on Prothom Alo. That and we also yes.
We didn't hear you quit job from Prothom Alo.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
That means you have left job from Prothom Alo.
I think Zarif told us that one of his college, working in Prothom Alo.
Okay. No, that is a question, because you are in the Prothom Alo, you are doing research on the Prothom Alo. So ethical issues come here. The biasness of the thing, okay, whether they look at this, okay. But as I think Zarif just instantly made the presentation, okay, and presented it. Zarif as first presenter, so it is difficult to comment on that.
Yes, I think we may reflect because to another newspaper production in other countries. For example, in Indonesia, especially in this province, we have a big newspaper. The name is Suara Merdeka, and now there is no not as much as before the publication of the paper newspaper because it's now become the online newspaper, and everyone in our society also hard now to find out the used newspaper, because so many company publishing the newspaper now collapse and switch to become online newspaper. And I think this change also interesting, and I'm sure that this is not happen only in Indonesia but also around the world. So many consideration for this. One of them is the environmental consideration, because paper made of wood, from pulp, and pulp produced by our forest, and this is environmental consideration. And the other side, our word is pumped by internet word. So now every people only need this device to find out the information and also the other thing that he would like to get. That is the thing that happened, I think, in our world. So that is why Zarif also told us in his abstract that sponsored content is one of the strategy of the online newspaper to get the audience, I think. And because content itself to become big content need the advertisement. So I think I got this point, I think, from Zarif presentation. What do you think about this, Bikash?
Okay, in terms of the, say for example, I have hard time to actually understand Bigapon Barta. Is it Zarif pointing to the advertising? Zarif?
Yes, the Biggapon Barta is a byline of Prothom Alo for the sponsored contents. They started it.
Bigaponi Barta. That means these are the news from the sponsored people. Sponsored.
They are sponsored, but they are not advertised. They are written in content.
Yes, that I understood. That means you want to understand the now. Question is, what do you want to understand? Because there are many things you can understood about the digital sponsored content. What objectives or what research question you have to that means that reflect the title. Objectives keyboard what you want to investigate. The understanding, I understand that you understand over digital sponsored content. What you understand, what you want to understand. There are many things you can understand from that, whether what kind of news they have published in this, or that what you have mentioned in your that when this sponsored content has been published, whether you want to understand that thing, but how these are placed in the in the digital content of the Prothom Alo. Is it that or other things?
Actually, we are focusing both of them. We want to understand and discover that why these contents are being written, and why these contents are written as they are, and how they are put into the newspaper, and so how long they are, and what is their form, what industries they are representing. We want to focus all of them, and we wanted to find a pattern, if they follow a pattern or not, and we found some patterns. And we think that our study will provide insight into the nature of digital sponsored content and how readers react to it. We have talked with several people who are responsible for the digital sponsored content and found some specific reasons, and that matches with our study. We also spoke with people who read the newspaper and asked their opinion on the sponsored content. So some people shared if they don't feel curious to read the whole sponsored content, big sponsored contents like up more than 1,000 words. So naturally, we think that in future the newspaper, the sponsored contents, and the industry, and both and the readers, everyone will be everyone will get benefits from our study, because now the newspaper and the industry can sponsor some contents that are down the 1,000 words, or as people want to read. So, and we also found some patterns that education industry is the biggest industry that are sponsoring the contents. They are mainly they are presenting their contents on explanatory fashion, such as they are talking about how many departments in the university, or what is the how many classes, how many students in their college or schools, etc. So overall, we have been comprehensively studying the digital sponsored contents and adding new things to our study. It has been going on for a month, and it's part of a bigger study of us. Thank you.
Okay, one thing I can comment on that, you can look at one thing, that how the media is placing, that means organizing digital content, and why why they feel, why they use that kind of pattern. Okay, because you cannot in one study you cannot go to the audience, or you and again you cannot go to the uh, organizers, that means who actually publish the newspaper content or sponsored content. So your research will be scattered. Yes, sir. So you look at certain point how the pattern of the organizing sponsored content in the newspaper, and why this pattern they follow, so that you can one angle, that industry perspective you can use. Okay, I think Miss Elizabeth will also.
Yeah, thank you, because this is a really interesting discussion factually. Yeah. Zarif, that's right. What because yeah, comment on your study. I think talking about digital content. So there are so many focus that we can talk about or discuss about. The first one is that is the content is a news content or the other content, because the newspaper itself want to publish the content is related to profit, I think. It will not left by the economical aspect. So is that the is the content based on the required from the specific institution, for example, or the real news? So I think because discussion is related to that point. If we talk about the content itself, so many content that that we can discuss about. So this is the point too for my interest, and the other is that advertisement along the life of the newspaper is the economical basic for the newspaper. The newspaper can live because of the advertisement. So now for the digital era, what about the prospect of the digital advertisement? Is the digital content also an advertisement, or it came out backed up by advertisement? I think this is very complicated phenomenon and interesting point of study, and it is challenging to do that study, I think. So for Zarif, I think this is your first step of your study, and you will get so many facets of your study related to the digital content. It is not only in the Alo, yeah, Prothom Alo, but maybe in another newspaper manufacturer. There is another process, I think, how they're attacking the modernity, how they must get on the internet-based media. I think every newspaper have their own strategy and also process, I think. So that is all, I think, because what we can study this afternoon. Sorry, the time go on, and factually, I think we need to discuss this more, because and Mita also Zarif in the other forum, I think, because Dr. Barbak will remind us about the time. Yeah, Dr. Barbak, I think we can give an umbrella of this session that it's now, it is a postmodern era, and postmodern era driven by media. So every reality built by media. So that is why there is a phenomenon in cinema as because studied on how people can make a requirement for going to the cinema. Yeah, I want to go to the cinema if the story is about human life. They don't want to think about the technological development that the producer used to produce it. That's interesting. And also what Mita tried to study, also interesting. What I found in my study here is that now in our surrounding, there is a online market. This and the seller are women. No men sell the product in that market form. And this market built on the time of second breakout of pandemic, because of people don't go to the market. So only some people want to, yeah, the basic is to help at the first step. But finally they got the economical profit. So until now, if the early in the morning, some woman in the WhatsApp platform, mom, I need, for example, egg or vegetable oil. It's easy to do that, and the seller will get to the house of the buyer at specific time. It's very interesting. And so about the newspaper, Dr. Barbak, sorry, I make the umbrella of this discussion. So the conclusion is that media right now in this postmodern era is the topic that will be very challenging and interesting for doing study next. And if you want to get my own email or number or have phone, Dr. Barbak can have that. That's all, Dr. Barbak. This session also, this is a very exclusive session, and we discuss about this topic surround us. Yeah. Thank you, because become the doubling presenter. Also, Mita, very interesting topic that you talk about, and also Zarif. Yeah, thank you very much for our panel today. And that's all, Dr. Barbak, the presentation of this panel. Thank you very much, and keep in health. Yeah, see you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum.
Dr. Zulfa, I think I told you that Mr. Bikash is my colleague, actually, senior colleague at the department, and we have a very good relationship. We got together.
Okay, thank you.
A lot. And like this panel, I was following, like as I was telling that when we did not have parallel sessions, I could listen to all the conversations, but now I am dividing here sometimes and there. But I was following this panel, and then I found this conversation intriguing as well. But nonetheless, I want to give you not only my thanks, my respect, because the commitment you have shown, that is something extraordinary. I know that today it's a very important day to your family, to your niece, and your niece is getting married, alhamdulillah. So yeah, and despite of that,
Congratulations.
here with us
Thank you
because
very
you
much.
committed earlier. So I and not only I, we all appreciate that a lot. So with this, let us conclude the session. Dr. Misbah, Zulfa, Elizabeth, again, thank you so very much to you and to your university, Walisongo State Islamic University, Indonesia. Yeah, And of course, my thanks to the presenters. I think Manee Srisamut was not here, and also Hamza but did not show up. So I think Zarif presented for Shahriar Rahman from the Daily Star, and of course Samia Akter Mita from Khulna University. She presented, and my colleague because CH Bhomik from University of Liberal Arts Bangladesh. Thank you all so very much for participating in Dhaka Media Summit 2022. We will look forward to your participation in the next editions of the conference. So with this, let us conclude this session. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.